Hey everybody, welcome to our latest video. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And we are continuing our April Fool's Marathon by reviewing different comedies, and today we are going to be reviewing Wayne's World, starring Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Oh yeah. And Dave, this was one of my favorite films from when I was a kid. This came out in 1992, so you can probably guess how old I am.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I used to love this film.
Yeah, I love this film too. It's a funny script, and it was a fun movie. I really liked it. And of course, I mean, this is Mike Myers' movie, and it's mostly focuses on his character of Wayne, but yeah. I always liked Dana Carvey as the socially awkward Garth a little more, especially with his mannerisms. Like, for example, there's a scene where especially where he has these weird looks in his eyes. Like, for example, there's a scene where he's in a automotive garage, at an auto garage, and he's picking up one of those air drills. I guess that's what it is. Yeah. He's pretends like it's a gun. He's going, woo, woo, and then he accidentally scrapes a car, and he's like, ooh. Or Wayne, I think we better go now.
Or the scene where they're in the restaurant, and then he's looking at this one girl that he's interested in, and then he starts imagining things about her and all that, and he goes and plays Foxy Lady by Hendrix on the jukebox, and he's like doing the funny little mannerisms and everything, and he's like dancing around, and they're looking at him like he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is back when comedies were still really, really funny, and when you left the movie theater, you could still remember the stuff that was in it. A lot of times when I leave a movie, like recently I saw Season of the Witch, I barely remember it. This is back when, it's not a comedy, I know that, but this is back when I could remember, it's got quotable stuff and it's got memorable scenes, like them singing Bohemian Rhapsody in the car, for example.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where, like, you'd go see it the night before, and then the next day at school, you'd be, like, repeating, like, all the funny lines outside in the lockers.
Yeah, and the lines like, game on, she will be mine, oh yes, she will be mine, and of course, we're not worthy, we're not worthy.
And also, for one of the first times to use it, that's what she said.
Yeah, I think this is one of the first movies to do that. And as a matter of fact, I think this movie did pave the way for a Family Guy, because this movie does make fun of pop culture references, and Family Guy does that. Like, every few minutes in this movie, there's a pop culture reference for different things every few minutes. So this was one of the first ones to do that. And of course, speaking of memorable, whenever I hear the song "Dream Weaver" by Gary Wright, I'm always going to think of this movie, especially the scene where it plays when Wayne is looking at the love interest in the movie, and it's got stars around here, and you hear the song.
Or "Feeding My Frankenstein" by Alice Cooper. I always think of this movie whenever I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of Alice Cooper itself. This movie really went by memory lane for me. Like, not just with the lines, but it had the old Illinois license plate and the old Pizza Hut boxes and Doritos bags and Pepsi cans. And I'm like, this is like my childhood.
Yeah. And it was fun. It was fun to see the old Pepsi can in this too, before they changed their logo, the old '80s logo on the Pepsi cans.
Yeah, I just said that, and in that particular scene, and even though it's a weird, goofy movie with sketches and stuff like that, this movie has that satirical scene where they're talking about product placement. Yeah,
they're being like real funny with it, because they're like, we don't support product placement, and yet they're showing all these bags and all these boxes and all these cans, and then he like dumps some like pills for his headache in his pocket, and then it actually shows like a black and white clip from the real commercial from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny movie with satirical moments. I think out of all the SNL films that are Saturday Night Live films that are based on characters from the show, I like this one the best, and I think this is definitely Mike Myers at his best. I mean, lately he's done Shrek and a few clunkers like Cat in the Hat, and I think if anyone's interested in Mike Myers when he was really, really funny, you got to check this movie out.
Yeah, he really hasn't been in anything real great like lately. The best he's been in was probably the Austin Powers ones, but by the third movie, because they did like 3 or 4 of them, by the third movie it started to get dumb anyway. I only saw the first 2 of them in the theaters, and then I waited for the third one to come out on DVD before I watched it.
Yeah, I had the same reaction to Wayne's World 2. They made one the following year, and it felt like it was just even though it was 1 year later, I felt like they ran out of energy and they ran out of ideas, and they were like beating a dead horse with the second one, Wayne's World 2. It's just not as good as the first, and I kind of feel the same way with Austin Powers.
Yeah, I never seen the second one. I'd like to, just to see if it really isn't that funny at all, or how it is. But I've only seen the first Wayne's World movie. So.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you. I don't think it's worth it. So. Anyway, thank you very much for watching our review for Wayne's World, and of course you guys know what to do. Post your comments about the movie or about the video. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time on R&B Reviews.